Hey Canucks fans, Sven Baertschi has opted out of the postseason, and we now have the schedule for the play-in series against the Wild. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. It's my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Saturday, July the 11th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. Before I get into today's news, I want to remind you that because today is Saturday, that means tomorrow is Sunday, that means tomorrow afternoon I'll be doing my weekly Ask Me Anything vlog. So you can ask me anything, hence the name. And all I ask you to do is put it in the YouTube comments here and simply start off your question with the three letters AMA, that stand for Ask Me Anything, and that way I'll know that it's a question that I'm supposed to answer in tomorrow's vlog. So you can ask me anything you want about the Canucks, about the return to play, about the CBA, about COVID, about why I'm so good looking, anything you want, ask me down below in the comment section, and I'll make sure I do my best to get to it in tomorrow's vlog. Okay, lots of news right now because we know that the CBA was ratified and the return to play with the CBA was ratified yesterday by a 79% vote by the Players Association. I joked around that I got higher than 79% in high school, but I got lower than 79% in university. So 79% is a good mark, right? That's basically a very high B plus, just under an A minus. Actually, I'm doing better than 79% in my master's program, but that's for another vlog. But thank you for asking. So yes, 79% of the players ratified it. So that's pretty good. It's a lot bigger vote, a lot bigger percentage than other sports, for instance, basketball, where the vote was a lot closer. But because the CBA and the return to play has been ratified, we're going to get a lot of news coming at us at a daily basis. In fact, I think Gary Bettman and Bill Daly did a press conference this morning. We're going to get news about the Vancouver Canucks. We're going to get news about the NHL. We're going to hear about guys opting out, which they have until Monday to do. And that's what I want to start with. Rick Dhaliwal at 3:30 in the morning. I'm not sure if he just woke up and remembered that he needed to tweet this, or that's exactly when he found out at 3:30 because it's 6:30 in the morning Eastern time. Who knows? But Rick Dhaliwal was the first to break that Sven Baertschi, forward Sven Baertschi, has opted out of the return to play, so he will not be joining the Vancouver Canucks camp this weekend in anticipation of Monday, the training camp, and he will not be one of the Black Aces. And we'll get to his replacement in a second. The Canucks already had 19 forwards, right, including Baertschi. So it's not like I think we can count on any of the Black Aces to really make an impact. But he would have been a good insurance policy, proven NHL player, although he didn't really get much traction with the Canucks over the past couple seasons. So the Canucks haven't said much, and nor should it really matter as to why the reason. It could be personal from a standpoint of health for him. Could be something about health in his family. As we saw with Travis Hamonic, the defenseman for Calgary, who opted out as well. He was the biggest name player who opted out yesterday. Actually, I think the only big name player so far. We might get more over the weekend. And for Hamonic, it was because his daughter has severe respiratory issues and issues that they've dealt with in the past. So that makes a lot of sense. And I really hope that Calgary Flames fans and fans across the league, and I think they do, the majority of them do. There's always a few goofballs, but the majority of them understand and certainly respect Hamonic's decision. It's a little bit more complicated in that he's a UFA now, so he's probably played his last game as a Calgary Flame. It's kind of a weird way to go out, but of course we want what's best for him and his family. With Baertschi, we don't know for sure if it's a health issue for him or his family. Again, not that it matters. A small part of me says that it might be because of the way the Canucks have treated him over the past year, and I've talked about that before. They put him on waivers. In December, they couldn't find a trade partner for him. All these things, a lot of talk about keeping him in Utica. So there might not be a lot of motivation for Sven Baertschi, and I almost feel bad speculating about that, but it's possibly an option. I'm not saying it is for sure, but you got to put yourself in his shoes. Is it worth, if he already feels at risk, and then doing all this work only to be watching from the press box every night? So Sven Baertschi, like I said, opting out of the returning to play with the Vancouver Canucks, and his replacement will be Kole Lind, forward that we drafted a few years ago that a lot of people are excited about. Hasn't had a chance to play with the Canucks so far. Might not get a chance to play with the Canucks this season, but being around the team, being with all the pros, with all the veterans, all of our young superstars, I think it's gonna be a really good experience for Lind. And if he somehow gets into a game, maybe an exhibition game or whatever, I'm excited to see what he can do because he's got decent size, good speed, and I always noticed that when he played against the prospects in the summer camps and stuff, he really stood out because of his size and his speed, and he looked like a more mature player. Obviously, it's going to be more difficult for him to play against NHL players, but we'll see if that happens. But I think the biggest thing to remember in perspective is that he likely won't get a chance to play, like I said, unless it's an exhibition game. But in the play-in series and definitely in the playoffs going forward, he will be like our 19th forward. Because remember, you're allowed to carry a roster of 31, 32 players, and the Canucks, with Lind replacing Baertschi, they have 19 forwards at just their disposal. Presuming full health, you have your top six of Miller, Pedersen, Toffoli, Besser, Horvat, Pearson. Then you have Virtanen, Gaudette, Roussel, Beagle, Sutter, and Mott. That didn't include Louis Eriksson. That didn't include Zach McEwen, Josh Levo, Michael Ferland. So that brings us up to 16. And the three aces they called up, Tyler Gravac, Justin Bailey, and now Kole Lind for Sven Baertschi. So 19 forwards. So maybe you roll 14 or 15 of them as regulars, depending on the matchup you want or injuries or whatever. But if you're the 17th, 18th, or 19th forward, I doubt you're getting much playing time, if any. But still, it would be a good experience for Kole Lind, like I said. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. Kole Lind replacing Sven Baertschi, who has opted out of returning to the Canucks to play in the play-in, or to be available for the play-in series and the playoffs going forward. And like I said, all players have until Monday to make that decision, to inform their club and to inform the league if they are going to opt out. I presume there's going to be a few more, maybe a couple big names and a few not so big names, but as they have the weekend to reflect on it, to be with their families, to discern, to decide, to debate, to discuss, all those D words, I think we'll probably see a few more by the time the weekend is over. The other major thing I want to talk about is the NHL released the schedule for everything going on. And before I get to all those dates, I want to talk about Vancouver Canucks specifically. We received the schedule yesterday from the Canucks and the league of their play-in series against the Minnesota Wild. And all the games are between August 2 and August 9. Remember, it's best of 5, so only 3 are for sure. Game 4 and Game 5 are if necessary, because Vancouver and Minnesota, they're playing in the Edmonton hub, right, the Western Conference hub. So some of those games, you guys know that there's 3 in Toronto. On some days there's 3 in Edmonton, and they're staggered. So Toronto, Edmonton, Toronto, Edmonton, Toronto, Edmonton. And 2 of the Edmonton times fall in the half hour. So I know that they're in Edmonton, it's 4:30 and 7:30, and the early one is probably, given that breakdown, is probably 12 o'clock, actually, now that I think about it. So you have a 12 o'clock, a 4:30, and a 7:30 in Edmonton. And all the Canucks games are the 2 ladder slots, 4:30 to 7:30, which means at our time, 1 hour ahead, or behind, I should say, it's 3:30 and 7:30. So I mess it up. The games must be 4:30 and 8:30 in Edmonton, and then that means in Vancouver they're 3:30 and 7:30. So this is what the schedule looks like for Vancouver versus Minnesota. On Game 1 is Sunday, August the 2nd. That's my son Sean's 19th birthday, so we've already talked about how making that a memorable day, hopefully. So Sunday, August the 2nd, Canucks are at home, the home team, right? Because they're the favorite, they're the higher seed. So Sunday, August the 2nd, 7:30 our time. Game 2 will be Tuesday, August the 4th, 3:30 our time. Game 3 will be Thursday, August the 6th, 3:30 our time. Of course, now games 3 and 4, Minnesota is the designated home team. Game 4, if necessary, Friday the 7th at 7:30 p.m. And then Game 5, if necessary, on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Canucks being back to the home team for Game 5, and exactly a week after the Game 1. So again, we got games on August 2, 4, 6, 7, and 9. So basically every second day except for Game 3 and Game 4, that's just a one-day, no day turnaround technically. It's back-to-back games. 7:30, 3:30, 3:30, 7:30, 7:30. So 3 of the 5 are at 7:30. 3 of the 5, Vancouver designated the home team. And all starts off on August 2nd, and Game 5 would be on August the 9th. So it's kind of interesting, because my desire, as you guys know, is to do a post-game live stream after every Canucks game in the postseason. The Sunday night one, 7:30, is perfect, because that will be 10 o'clock. That will be my normal weekly live stream. So that works out really well. And then the 2 3:30 ones will be interesting, because the game will end at 6. So maybe I can catch the first period at work or whatever, then drive home during one of the intermissions so I can live stream from home on those 2 days, and then we go from there. So very exciting. August 2 to August 9, the 5 Canucks games, if you need all 5. It's interesting also because my next, I was off this week from work, as you guys know. My next work vacation is July 27 to 31, the week prior to this. I'm almost thinking of bumping it to the next week. No, I'm not going to, because only 2 of the games will affect my work week, and really it's just the first period. So maybe I can work earlier, figure something out so I can catch the whole game. But that's for me to worry about, not for you. But that's the key. August 2, game number 1 against Minnesota. Lastly, to finish off this vlog, I'll talk about the overall dates for the NHL big picture. So July 13th, training camps open. That's this Monday. July 26th, everyone travels to the hub city, because exhibition games are July 28 to 30. They'll probably play 2 games in those 3 days. That's my guess. August 1st is when the first games of the qualifiers begin. Remember, the qualifiers and round robin are taking place at the same time. Round robin for the 4 top teams in each conference. So August 1 they begin, but we know the Canucks don't start until August 2. All the games are wrapped up on August 9 if they go to a 5 series, because August 10 is phase 2 of the NHL draft lottery. So the 8 qualifying losers, remember, they all have a 12.5% chance of winning the first overall pick, Alexis Lafreniere. August 11 is the first round. August 25th is the second round. We're going in 2-week increments, as you can see. September 8th is the third round, the conference finals. September 22 is the fourth round, the Stanley Cup finals. So we got 2-week increments starting from August 11. 11, 25, September 8, September 22. Those are tentative, but those are pretty close, I think, to what's going to happen. And then August 4, they're saying, is the last possible day of the final. And then we know that the NHL draft is going to be October 9, 10. That's the plan right now. And then interesting, free agency will open the latter of 7 days after the last game of the final. So there's a chance that the free agency could open on the day of the NHL draft. Wouldn't that be crazy? Imagine the wheeling and dealing that could happen if the NHL free agent period, first day of free agency, corresponds with the weekend of the NHL draft. So we have a lot of things to look forward to. I will post these dates down below or link to them somewhere so I don't have to type it out. We'll figure it out. But you can see that it's a very detailed return to play. That's why it took about a month to get this memo out, but it got ratified by 79%. And now we have the next 3 months ahead of us. Key dates for us: training camp on Monday, August 2, Vancouver Canucks take on the Minnesota Wild in game 1. All right, Canucks fans, there's a lot here today. Question of the day: do you think the Canucks will miss Sven Baertschi? Do you think Kole Lind will get a chance? And then what do you think of the timing overall of not only the Vancouver-Minnesota series, but the entire 3-month return to play? You can talk about any of those things. Really, there's a bunch of questions today, but you can talk about whatever, or something I didn't mention that you uncovered when you were reading the portions of the CBA and the MOU and the RTP, return to play, and all these acronyms that the NHL loves to use. So leave a question down below, or leave a comment down below. I'll redirect and reply. Also invite you to leave a question for my Ask Me Anything tomorrow. Just start off with AMA. Well, hey, Canucks fans, thanks for watching. I know there's a lot there, but there's a lot to sink our teeth into. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.